Tonight, a man is arrested on suspicion of a Grimsby murder. A new role for the chair of Hull 2017 and round-the-clock care by a local charity. And in tonight's sport, we'll hear the views of the Hull, City, Scunthorpe and Grimsby managers ahead of the weekend's games. Before that, Mhairi Rees on Smoke-Free Smiles. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Thursday's programme with me, Luke Adams. First tonight, a 44-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder. It follows an incident in Grimsby on Monday afternoon in which a man was assaulted outside the Halifax Bank on Old Market Place. The victim was taken to Diana, Princess of Wales Hospital for treatment but died on Tuesday morning. Bucks of condolences have been opened across the East Riding following the murder of Shane Gilmer. The 30-year-old father of three died following an attack at his home near Driffield on Friday night. It's believed neighbour Anthony Lawrence attacked him and his pregnant girlfriend using a crossbow which was found at the scene. His body was later found in a van near North Yorkshire on Sunday. Gilmer worked as a housing officer for East Riding Council. Flags are being flown at half-mast at various council sites. The chair of Hull 2017 has a new appointment. Rosie Millard will be the new chair for Children in Need. She takes over from Stevie Spring CBE, who has chaired the charity for 9 years. Rosie's appointment will take effect immediately on a 3-year contract. The leader of the Labour Party has been in our area today. Jeremy Corbyn was in Grimsby to meet constituents. He was giving his thoughts to media on the homelessness crisis which is affecting our region.
Every homeless person is a victim of circumstances of some sort. I talk to a lot of homeless people and indeed I was in a homeless shelter in Slough last week and I spent a long time talking to people. Indeed I was at a homeless meal in my own constituency also last week. And I talk to people, they are homeless because of the implementation of the intentionally homeless rule in housing, family breakup, mental health problems, all kinds of things. But they're all people. They all deserve somewhere to live. And what John Healy and myself have proposed is the emergency provision of 4,000 places straight away, which would require buying properties via housing associations probably around the country to give them shelters. And a lot of councils have now wakened up to just how much of a crisis this is.
And we'll hear more from the Labour leader in tomorrow night's news. The Links and Notts Air Ambulance is to provide a 24-hour service. It's thanks to funds from their supporters. Last year, the charity acquired a new helicopter to carry out the work. Karen Jobling, CEO of the charity, says that being able to extend the service meets their demand.
It's a really, really proud moment for the charity to be able to announce the extension of its service from a 12-hour helicopter emergency medical service to a 24-hour operation. Well, we've been looking at the missions, the jobs that we may be called to after our current hours of operation. Working with East Midlands Ambulance Service, the data indicates that we'd be called to 1 or 2 additional jobs in a 24-hour period. That means 5 a day. Potentially 5 patients that we would reach every day. So for us, a charity operating a life-saving service, if we're able to extend to 24 hours, reach more patients and support more patients in their care, then that's something that we're really pleased to be able to do.
It's fantastic because we do lose quite a lot of jobs come 7 o'clock. It gets quite frustrating that we're missing out on emergencies still happening, so we'll be able to pick all those up now right through till 7 o'clock the next morning. Well, we'll be doing nights again, but so the challenges are going to change, but it will be a good challenge. It'll be new to us as a unit. There are other units doing it, but round here it couldn't be more perfect with the road network and the amount of emergencies we have through the evening. Being able to get anywhere within our boundary, our current boundary, certainly in Links and Notts, in 15 minutes and putting these medical crew on the ground. Time is everything. This thing does 200 miles an hour. It took us less than 20 minutes to get back from Leeds Centre the other night, straight back to here. Anywhere in a car can take 45 minutes, 50 minutes plus on blue lights. That's going to be out the window, and then we can move the patient if needs be.
Certainly, looking at the data from the 999 call centre, it indicates that we'd see 438 additional patients in a year if the data is an accurate reflection of what might happen this year or next year, because as you can appreciate, there's different accidents and incidents every day, so it's difficult to forecast with certainty the numbers that we'll see, but the estimate is around the 450 to 500 additional patients that we will get to see in any one year, and provide the service to the people who provide the funding to the charity. So we're really looking forward to and proud to be able to offer 24-hour care by air for every day of the year.
Northern Power Grid has restored power across the region following strong winds and heavy rain. The company worked overnight to help 5,000 customers that were affected by the cuts. Electricity was diverted through the network's alternative routes and repairs carried out. Meanwhile, 26 trees came down across Lincolnshire overnight due to the strong winds. They fully and partially obstructed roads between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. this morning. No one was injured, and a clean-up operation is now underway by Lincolnshire Police. Hull-born actor Sir Tom Courtenay received a special honour today. He was granted the honorary Freedom of the City by the City Council. He received a scroll from the Lord Mayor of Hull, Councillor John Hewitt, at a full council meeting this morning. The 80-year-old actor was born in the city and rose to fame in the early 60s in films such as Billy Liar and Dr. Zhivago. The title of Honorary Freeman of the City is the highest honour the council can give to people for their service to the community. £50,000 has been awarded to the Stephen Joseph Theatre. The money from the Backstage Trust will be used to support writing by new playwrights and help develop talent. The 63-year-old Scarborough Theatre saw a record-breaking year in 2017, with ticket sales up by 32% on the previous year. Smoke-free Hull are putting a smile on the face of people who successfully stopped smoking in the new year with their Quit and Smile campaign. I'm joined now by Mhairi Rees, Senior Stop Smoking Specialist at Hull CHCP, to tell me more. Stop Smoking Specialist, not Senior, Mhairi. My apologies there.
That's okay,
with a lovely
worry.
Smile. Thank you very much for coming in. Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
programme. First of all, what is this campaign aiming to achieve?
Well, it's the idea is always to encourage people to stop smoking. Basically, that's what we do as an organisation. And we will run campaigns that will enhance that. So the Quit and Smile campaign at the moment is our new campaign. It started on the 1st of January, goes on to the 31st of March. And the idea is that anyone who sets a quit date within that period of time and successfully quits for over a 4-week period, they can then be offered this treatment, which is just a stain removing treatment. It's not a long involved process, it's just a one-off. Okay. So they can be offered this.
So that's the golden ticket then, after 4 weeks of successful
yes, exactly.
quitting.
Yes, you do have to quit.
And then they will be referred to a local dentist.
Local dentist in Hull. So it is smoke-free Hull. Okay. So this is just for Hull clients. Okay. And providing they've achieved this 4-week quit, then the advisor will refer them to the dentist in Hull for the treatment. And depending on the state of their teeth and where they are will depend on whether they're able to have the treatment. Okay. But that will be assessed by the dentist, not us.
Okay. How is the campaign going so far? Have you had a lot of uptake?
Yeah, well, it's early days. It started on the 1st of January, and where are we now? The 18th of January. 18th of January, yeah. So it is early days. There's been a lot of advertising around the city, leaflets and posters just to kind of highlight that. And we're hoping that people will pick up on that and think, ooh, I think I'd like to stop smoking. I'd like to use this and therefore contact the service. I personally, in my clinics, I've had 1 or 2 people who have asked already, so that's a good start. But I think it's on till the end of March, so it's going to take a little bit of time to pick up. Absolutely.
Now, just to reiterate, Mhairi, this is strictly for residents within Hull.
Yes.
The Hull catchment area
Absolutely.
only. And there will be services elsewhere where people can...
There are separate services in East Riding and, of course, over here as well.
Yes.
Separate services altogether. But I work for Smoke-Free Hull, and the clients have to have a Hull postcode and pay their council tax to Hull City Council.
Okay. Good, so they will benefit
to access
from this
the service.
project. Lovely.
Yeah.
So you'll be well known on this subject, Mhairi. How prevalent is smoking in the city?
So Hull has got one of the highest prevalences of smoking in the country. So nationally, we're talking about maybe 15 to 18% of adults smoke in the UK.
Okay.
In Hull, we're talking about around about 29%.
That's a high figure.
That's high, and that's in the general city. But if you then go deeper, delve deeper, and go into some of the more deprived local authority wards,
Okay.
you are talking about 46% plus of adults will smoke.
And
So
you
it's
said
high.
there that Hull is one of the 3 highest
It
in
is.
the country.
It's the third highest in the
Why
country.
is it so high?
Well, smoking, I think, goes hand in hand with high areas of deprivation. And we know in Hull that it does, like many big cities, it's not that unusual, but like a lot of big cities, it has these high deprivations high instances of deprivation, which will go in hand with smoking, people dealing with their
Lots of
problems and issues.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Importantly, we need to get the contact details in before we end the
We
interview.
do.
If people want to sign up for this campaign, they can visit smokefreehull.co.uk
Yeah, they can.
or phone 01482 247 111
Yes.
or text SMILE, I like that, text
Yeah.
SMILE to 61825.
Exactly.
Wonderful. And it's
Yes.
running until the end of March.
End of March, 31st.
All the best with the campaign,
Thank you.
Mhairi, and I hope it goes well. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Steve,
very
for
much.
coming in.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Join me after the break when Jack brings us the thoughts of Nigel Adkins, Graham Alexander and Russell Slade in the sports news, and Fred joins me on the sofa with a roundup of the latest cultural events from Hull and the region. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. So let's come tonight. We'll have some big questions from little people and the thoughts of the Hull City, Grimsby and Scunthorpe managers in the sports news with Jack very soon. The fashion giant Primark opened its doors in Grimsby today. The store, based at the Freshney Place Shopping Centre, will employ over 150 staff and create over 50 new jobs. It will be on 2 floors and include 19 cash desks. Cricketing legends Jeff Boycott and Jonathan Agnew are heading to Hull. The commentators will answer a series of questions from a live studio audience, and they will be taking part at that event at Hull City Hall on the 1st of February. Time for some big questions for little people now. On the anniversary of the day of A.A. Milne's birth, it's now time to ask the big questions, little people, from Bessick Wotton Primary School in Driffield about the famous bear.
What's Winnie the Pooh's favourite game?
Stick poo.
Yes, Pooh Sticks, isn't it? Do you know anything about that? Can you tell me what it's about?
Well, he lays back and then he gets on his arms and he flips into the water. Then Silver comes out before the other.
He drops something into the river and then he races round to the other side and then see if it comes out. And he played it with his friends, see if it was a race. There's 2 of you and the river's going that way and you throw it that way and then see who stick gets there first.
Have you ever played that game?
Yeah,
Who did you play that with?
my grandma's, my 2 cousins and my brother.
Can you tell me who won?
Me or my cousin.
What do you think's fun about Winnie the Pooh? What's fun about him?
I like it when he gets all the honey from the trees, because one time he tried to get it and the bee had landed on his face, and the bees got him. There's 2 of you and the river's going that way and you throw it that way and then see who stick gets there first.
Have you ever played that game?
Yeah.
Who did you play that with?
My grandma's, my 2 cousins and my brother.
Can you tell me who won?
Me or my cousin.
And I'm joined now by Fred with a roundup of the latest culture news from across the region. Good evening, Fred. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much for joining me on the sofa.
Hello, Luke. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. What gems have you unearthed this Thursday evening?
Well, my first story, Hull Independent Cinema, are teaming up with the Yorkshire Silent film festival to bring to life Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World, which is perhaps more known from Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park. But however, there was an adaptation of Arthur's book long before that, from 1925, I believe.
Wow.
A silent film, black and white, all in stop motion. That is going to be screened on Tuesday, the 20th of March at 7 p.m. at Holchuk Theatre. So I think it's highly recommended to go along and just see a bit of cinematic history, because 1925, that's a heck of a long time.
Absolutely.
In the age of cinema.
And I believe, Fred, that particular event is part of the Hull Film Festival's new programme of events, which takes us up to March, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes.
James came on the programme last week plugging.
He did, didn't he? He talked a bit about this
spring
before.
season. Yeah.
Yes. But it's intriguing to see that this film is just of such an age and of such a property that perhaps is more well known for that big blockbuster version.
Yes.
So it'd be interesting to see a version of another film version. It's almost 100 years its a predecessor.
A long time, because I think the blockbuster dates back to about 1994, I think.
Indeed, nearly as old as me.
Yes, and me, Fred, and me. Okay, what is your second
story? Well, it's something called The Sesh. These are a series of music events put on by Hull music legend Mark Page. On every Tuesday evening, music lovers can make their way to the Polar Bear Club.
Okay, so it's taking place there, is it? Right.
It is indeed,
okay.
And they're called The Sesh, and they're just weekly evenings hosted by Mark, where he gets together lots of fresh local acts to basically strut their stuff and get their voices out there. And he's also doing some workshops as well. Those have been happening throughout this month. There's 2 more events going on the 23rd and the 30th of January, and those are for free. So if you like your music, nice fresh indie music, or perhaps you even want to just discover perhaps how to make music given the workshops, pop along and see what's in store.
And a great place for local talent to
Indeed.
go to the Polar Bear and showcase their work.
Indeed, and that's kind of the point, isn't it?
There's a lot of local talent in Hull and also in Grimsby as well, and it's great that those local artists and bands are given that platform to showcase what they do.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's having that balance between having all the acts, but then giving them a suitable platform to actually show the world just what they can do. It can mean the world to these artists.
Exactly, and the Polar Bear's a very good venue for that to happen.
Oh, good.
And you've got something else there, I believe. Fred,
One last story, yes. Humber Estuary, Changing Views.
Okay.
This is a multimedia art exhibition going on at the Beverley Art Gallery that details the ever-changing history of the Humber Estuary. It's a story that's told throughout paintings and drawings, and that's going on until the 17th of February. And that'll be another bit of local I was going to say local history, but Lost World isn't quite local, but more history
at a local level.
Indeed, for historians to indulge in. Perhaps something we take for granted at Estuary, given that it's always just there, isn't it? So
yeah, absolutely.
It's another story that just needs to be told.
Where's that taking place again, Fred?
That's taking place at the Beverley Art Gallery until the 17th of February.
Which we've been to many times because they do some fantastic exhibitions,
We have
don't
indeed,
they?
yes they do.
Fred, thank you very much for that. Just a couple of quick things from me.
Okay.
Fame the Musical celebrates 30 years this year.
Oh gosh,
I can't believe it's 30 years since it actually went to the stage.
I think you know a bit more about it than I do.
I do.
So I rely on your opinion.
I do like my musicals. And that's happening at Bridge Spa, 15th to the 20th of October.
Very good.
Okay, and it's a special UK tour which will celebrate the milestone. And of course, the musical is based on the 1980 film. I didn't even realise that the film was that old as well.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
There you are.
And it features the songs There She Goes, Can't Keep It Down, and the song Fame, of course, which was the biggest number, which was covered by Irene Cara in 1980. So get your singing voices and dancing shoes ready for a great gig in October.
Not the David Bowie song then.
Absolutely. Fred, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Luke.
Now here's Jack with all the sports news.
We'll start with football, and Hull City are preparing for a trip to the side at the bottom of the Championship. The Tigers face Sunderland at the Stadium of Light on Saturday, looking to halt a run of 7 games without a win. Head coach Nigel Adkins was in a philosophical mood when asked about the squad's togetherness.
We've got a belief, and if everyone sticks together and believes in what they're doing and comes to the table, you have a chance. And I think we've got that. You know, what's Abraham Lincoln's quote, a house divided amongst itself cannot stand. Well, we're together, so we've got a chance. We're keeping clean sheets. Everyone's pulling in the right direction. We've got camaraderie, so at least we've got a foundation to keep driving on from. It's not as if we're not fragmented, so that's important.
In League One, Scunthorpe United are also on their travels this weekend. The Iron head to the Priestfield Stadium to face Gillingham. Graham Alexander's side are currently on a 6-match unbeaten run and sit 4th in the table. Alexander said his team will need to be at their best to overcome Saturday's opponents.
There's always an opposition there trying to stop you, and that's the thing that you have to overcome. Games are won over 95 minutes. 90 officially, but it's always 95. Yeah. So that's what you have to do. You have to adapt to what the opposition are doing and try to overcome that. And I feel we're pretty good at that. But the game's not won and lost in the first 15-20 minutes. It's over the course of the game. So we'll look to play as well as we can, but you have to respect that the opposition are going to try and stop that, just like we try to do to the other teams we play.
On to League Two now, and Grimsby Town face off against Colchester United on Saturday. The Mariners are struggling at the moment, having lost 4 of their last 5 games. Town manager Russell Slade has said he won't be making wholesale changes and will only make one if it's a change for the better.
Not particularly different in terms of where we've trained or anything like that, but we're looking at a few things. I think it's important to be open-minded in what we're trying to do. If we have to change, then we've got to. If it's the thing with change, it has to be for the better, and change without it not being better is wrong. But look, if we have to change it or we have to do things for the better, and we think it's for the better, then we will.
And finally, in Rugby League, Hull FC have named their new captain for the upcoming Super League season. Club legend Danny Halton will take on the role, stepping up from vice-captain. He succeeds Gareth Ellis, who is retired. Holborn's Scott Taylor has been named vice-captain. That's all for today's sport. Back to Luke in the studio.
Thanks very much, Jack. That's just about it for today. Thank you to Fred and Mhairi for joining me on the sofa. As always, if you have a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages. Details on the screen as I speak. You can also email our news desk, which is estuary.tv, or contact the news desk number 01472315553. We'll see you same time tomorrow from all of us on the team. Have a great Thursday evening. Good evening.